everybody, and welcome to the Money and Markets Show. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. Now, if you notice, we're moving into a new financial year, 2022-2023, and our government is really aggressive on this budget. 48 trillion.
Indeed, Shamim. And of that amount, about 25 trillion is going to be mobilized domestically by the taxman. But then the other portion is going to be borrowed from both internal and external sources. That is 12 trillion shillings about is going to be borrowed domestically. And then about 7 trillion is going to be borrowed from external sources. Of course, the key question here, Shamim, is always, and has always been raised by the private sector, that whenever government comes in and borrows aggressively domestically, we're talking about the 12 trillion, they are crowded out of the lending market.
Ooh, and for this and more, don't go away. Government relies heavily on taxes to run its affairs. And as we can see, the next financial year, government is expecting a lot from revenue collection.
Indeed, and that's domestic tax mobilization. However, the major contributors to this docket, that is the traders or the business community, have some reservations. In fact, some were expecting reprieve from government on the tax element. Question is, how do you create a balance? We pick the mind of the spokesperson of Casita to find out what their thoughts are.
As business people, the experience I have shared within the years, it is not encouraged a country like Uganda at our level of development, still under LODC, to let the powers of three major areas be controlled privately. This is water and its bills, electricity and fuel, until we reach an extent where we have extracted ours. Why this is, all the items I've mentioned have particular laws that guide them. We have an Electricity Act, we have a Petroleum Act, and the government of Uganda follows us from the time we are purchasing the fuel to the time we are selling it at the pump. Unfortunately, while they are dictating terms at where we are buying, because they also are tracking the fuel to know the content, to be sure it's not adulterated. They know the cost of how much we have bought, and they also add an import. A private company is hired at the port of Mombasa or the point of destination to Uganda, and they add a cost. On every liter, there is a private company that says, we are now measuring to know that what you are taking is proper and is going to Uganda. Other countries do not add this cost because they only tag fuel that is going through transit. Now, all this means that a country like Uganda that has sold off all the reserves, the tankers were sold to private managers, private companies. They are the ones who took them into private operations. So the country at hand, as we speak now, does not have any reserves. What countries do, you saw what America did recently, while the prices were shooting up. They only had to open the depots, dealt with the private managers or runners of these petrol stations, and they cut down the price. So this is what manages market structures like oligopolists, the ones that are enjoying this business. They are not too many and it is not a monopoly. But if you want to cause a price problem in the fuel sector, you only need less than 1,000 on your phone to call your partners, and they will just increase within no time. Government desperately looking for how to control this. The law has not been amended. I mean, the Petroleum Act has not been amended for ages. Whenever we cry again, and you know the weakness, the petroleum and the petrol products are run, I don't know how I will say it, but they are perceptional goods. A mere fact that you have gone to 3 petrol stations and they say there is no fuel is enough for you to pay any amount on the 4th that you go to. So therefore, any input that is increased at the cost of production will be recovered at the selling point, and the consumer is the one to suffer. Some of those increments have been brought because of COVID disruptions. I will tell you that we have doubled the price of shipment. The freight charges from certain countries are now double. If you used to pay 3,000, you are paying 6,000. And the reason is the empty containers were not available. Trade was so down countrywide. So for some of the procurements we made from China, from Vietnam, from the US, it was not easy to collect the containers. It was not even easy to get the shipments ready to move. And therefore, the cost of freight increases the price at Uganda Revenue Authority. If you pay the higher freight charge, it factors into the final taxes that you will pay. Therefore, if you pay higher taxes because of freight increments as a result of COVID disruptions, automatically the consumer must suffer this, because I should do everything possible to recover the inputs. Taxes must be ad valorem on most of the products. Apart from those specific items like sugar that are measured in kilos, and any other products that are measured as in liquid form or in volumetric concerns. So it increased the prices of textile. What has happened now is that a shirt that you'd buy for 20,000 can multiply and you buy it 60 because of two factors. One, the taxes, but two, the economies of scale. If people who are bringing 10 containers per annum or 12 each month offloading one are now going into groupage cargo. You combine 3-4 people to load one container. So the price at cost increases because of low economies of scale. If you buy big quantities, the prices come down from where we are buying the items. To the contrary, true, that you are going to buy fewer, therefore you pay higher price. You pay higher price, the taxes also increase. Are we going to commit miracles so that we sell items bought expensively at a low price to the customers? No, definitely every trader is not a charitable organization. We shall do everything possible to see that we recover our inputs. So some of these disruptions and the persistent higher price rate increases are because of laxity in applying the tools that are allowable in law. For example, sometime when the price of sugar shot so high, Honorable Mary Achambadde, while still at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, applied what we call import quotas. She called the Casita, asked for about 20 companies, and then she suspended the import duties, which are 100% on sugar imported. It relaxed the import duties temporarily and allocated units to each of the traders involved, and they ordered them on how much price they would sell at the market. When those people who had hiked the price of sugar got to know about this, the moment they offloaded the first containers, the prices were cut at the factory and in the field. Every Ugandan has a role to play. We are feeling it is so hard just because some of us don't have what to take to the market. What matters to an economy is how many people are participating in it. We have a very limited number of people, not more than 1.2 million, that are paying taxes. We should aim higher so that everybody pays taxes according to our levels. It should be treated like a bottle. Each bottle stands on its own bottom. If you are a large payer, pay large taxes, please. If you are medium, pay medium taxes. If you are small, pay small taxes. This business of making the small ones pay big taxes is only a suffocating business. What it does, it increases the tax burden other than the tax base. And there is no future in that. I thank you.